Just a quick little video. I've just been playing about with basically cambelt idler, the one that goes underneath the crank. Now, my original one was sort of very rough and noisy, and you can see the roller's bent, so bit rough and dry. I tried to get just the roller on its own, but I couldn't seem to do that. Even I think 911 Design didn't seem to list it. So basically, what I ended up doing it. Really, I should have done a bit more research, but before I ended up doing it, I bought this one here. So I bought this off eBay, and the guy put 2 new bearings in it basically. So they're all nice and free and new clips. So this originally had another bit here, which I've cut off. I think what they did, apparently they went from 1 to 2, then back to 1, and then to none, or whatever. And the idea is that crankshaft pulley comes here with a belt on. If the belt tries to jump, it hits the pulley and stops it jumping. This is the one that was on it. The reason I've gone to modify that to 1, I've read up on it quite a bit, and people are saying that if you have the double roller, so there's another roller here, what can happen with the new slightly thicker cam belts, this roller on this side can end up touching the belt on tick over and whatever. And if that happens, obviously you've got a small bearing like that whizzing round, you get like a noise. And the guy basically was saying you really struggle to find the noise because you won't think it's that, but that's what it is. So basically a majority of people were saying that it's better to just have the one. It won't touch the belt, but it should stop it jumping in the same manner. But Porsche obviously couldn't make up their mind because they went back and forth a little bit. So this is my original bracket with a new bearing on. This is the double bracket, which I've cut down to shave the bit off that's extra. So it's a single one. I'm just going to flog that and get rid of that. I don't need 2. But doing a bit more research, you find out that those bearings, they're not expensive. You can sort of, I think it's 6201 or something, there's a number, and you can just buy the bearing and then press the bearing out the roller, and job done, as long as your roller is okay. I mean, I did need to buy something anyway because my roller was damaged anyway, but for anybody else doing it, potentially if your roller's okay and your carrier's okay, you can just take the circlip off, take it off, and push the bearing out of this ring and put another bearing in, which, you know, I think Porsche lists this bit or something for 200 and odd quid, something stupid like that. And to be fair, the fact it doesn't really, it might have to do something. Apparently if it backfires, the belt can go slack and whatever. But for that kind of money, you know, for 200 and odd quid, it's a lot of money really. But the fact that you can just buy another bearing, the inner bearing, and just change that is good. I'm beginning to realise my engine, I think now it's all down here with all the parts I bought, I believe my engine is a sort of 1983 engine, slightly later, because everything I've ordered for 1981, which is what the car is. And 911 Design, not their fault, they've sent me what's right for the car, and because of the date of the car and whatever, they sent me a square tooth cam belt. Now, I can't really, it's hard to show on a video, but basically the teeth on the cam belt up to sort of, I think it's up to the middle of 82 or something like that, they're square. So all your pulleys on your engine, there's sort of indentations are square. Let me see if I can find one of the pulleys. I've got one here somewhere, yeah. So you can clearly see on that, that's the oil pump pulley, they're round teeth. Now I'll just get this belt out. I'm going to probably flog this belt. So you can see, focus very well. Yeah. So you can see they're square teeth. And when you put that in the round tooth pulley, it sits in and fits in perfectly fine, except there's a gap at the bottom. So it means that you're not getting as much contact on the belt. And I think somebody was saying on one of the forums that Porsche did that as an upgrade. They put the round tooth belt on and changed the pulleys. And so it could be this engine's had that done, but I'm thinking probably not. The fact that the block is got no number on, so I'm thinking it could be like an 83 engine. But I think the water pump and everything doesn't make any difference. Doesn't seem to be any difference in that. The head gasket looks the same. I'm pretty sure the gasket set and everything else I've bought is pretty much the same. But just something to be aware of, that before you order your belt kit, if you're just ordering a belt, it's not the end of the world. But I ordered the whole kit and I thought, oh God, I've got to buy another kit. But I've not. I've just bought another belt, so I should sell the square tooth one. I've got the new tensioner roller, which is, I'll show you that. It's the oil pump. I've just got loads of parts at the moment because I've been buying parts, all my filters and oil and everything ready for the thing. So yeah, this pulley, the tensioner pulley, is new. That's on and with a new 10.9 stronger, strongest bolt I could get, with a bit of Loctite on tightening it. This pulley is not available from Porsche, I don't think. Well, the Repro one, it's 150 quid for the genuine one, I think. 911 design. They do like a Repro one for like 30 odd quid, but they haven't got any in, which is a bit convenient. But I managed to get a genuine Porsche one off eBay for 60 quid. So I thought, yeah, it's double the price, but it is a genuine one. But I found that, sort of look at this when I wiggle it. Let's see if I can. Yeah, you can see there is like a bushing in here, and I've heard people talk about this, and until I sort of put this back on and tighten it up just to make sure everything lined up, there's like a plastic sleeve that pushes in that way, and then this bolt is a shoulder bolt. Apparently the shoulder bolt can break as well, so I've got another one of them coming, shoulder bolt, and I've ordered the bushing that goes in both sides. Now everybody seems to list it as 86 onwards. I don't quite understand why, because the bolt is something like 77 to 86 or something like that. So, and it's the same, looks like the same part number. So I'm assuming it's just the way they label the bits. Otherwise, I'm going to have to make some kind of bush for that. My friend can do machining, and so I'll make a bush for that and make it so there's no play in there. But it has like a bit of a shoulder either side as well to stop it wiggling. So I'm hoping those will come soon. So the water pump's sort of ready to go. Got the starter motor back. Starter motor, apparently there's 4 brushes on the motor that make it spin. 2 of them were melted. I mean, it did work, it worked fine, but it goes to show it is worth having things like that checked. I mean, I think he charged me something like 70 quid to recon the starter. There's a company called Auto Supplies in Nottingham. I mean, it does all our starters and alternators. Checked the alternator, said that's fine. The front bush bearing on the starter was knackered, apparently. Luckily, he sorted through all his stuff and he had one, because he couldn't get one, but he had one. So, got away with that. Starter's sort of done. State of play with the rest of the engine is, the crank has been checked. That's just going to have a polish. My machining guy said nothing wrong with the crank, perfectly fine. The heads have been pressure tested, crack tested. They're okay, they're fine. Even though one was corroded a bit around the valve seat, he said there's no leaking, it's not damaged the valve seat, so that's not a problem. He's checked all the exhaust valves and inlet valve guides. All the inlet valves guides are fine. I've checked them myself as well. There's a little bit of play in them, but nothing that you'd bother really changing for. But all the exhaust valves have got play in them. So I've ordered, he couldn't get them, but I've managed to find 8 exhaust valves. So I've got those coming to give to him. Once he's done the exhaust valves, then he can skim the heads. I can have the heads back. So I think the only thing I'm outstanding now is a main bearing set. I'm really struggling to find a main bearing set, standard main bearing set. 911 Design don't do it, they just do oversized ones. Everybody who, I think it's 928 Russ in America, they've got none in stock, but they do them. I mean, they're about $600, so I don't know how much that is. So I'm going to do a bit of Googling and searching tonight and see what I can find. But I think, do a bit more research on it, but I've been told that, like I say, the 944 bearings, except the shouldered one, are the same. Or very, very much similar. You know, they can be used. And then I'd just have to buy the shouldered one. But I've got to be 100% sure with that. I mean, I'd prefer to just buy a set of standard specific 928 ones, but when you look at the part numbers, some of the part numbers on the 944, the 928 ones, have got 944 part numbers as well. So they obviously are interchangeable, I believe. There's a few differences with how much groove is cut in them. I think the early ones have grooves, all the 360 grooves, and 944 have a groove on just one of the bearings, which you put at the top and not at the bottom, which apparently is better. So I've got to do a bit of research on that, but pretty happy that the crank's good and the heads are good, so I haven't got to find any heads or anything like that. So yeah, once the crank's back and I've got my main bearings, I can build it up maybe and do a lot of work then and get it all built up. So I'll be doing a few more videos, but I just thought I'd share that bit about them roller guides, because it's a bit of a weird one, that is. It's the fact that you can just buy the bearing and change the bearing. I'm assuming this roller as well, this is kind of pushed in, the bearing inside is pushed in, then peened in at the back. So I would have thought possibly maybe you could just buy the bearing as well on that one. That has a sleeve in the middle. I think they come with a new sleeve. The one I've got has come with a new sleeve. I'm getting this come with a new sleeve. So we shall see. I'm hoping those bushings fit in.